Hello Terraria enthusiasts, my name is James and today we are talking all about Terraria in Japan. So around about this time last year I made a video going over some of the differences in the Japanese version of Terraria and kind of going over the history of how that version was made, who made it, and why it was doing so popular over in Japan. Well, at the time we actually didn't have a lot of resources for actually looking into specific content available in the Japanese version. Well, after I actually made my video, a bunch of the community got together and started really delving deep into what is available in these specific versions, and they actually have a new part of the Wikipedia which literally goes over the Japanese release, and it actually revealed a few things which I didn't even know at the time of my old video. And one of them was to do with vanity outfits. So I knew about this Monokuma costume, which I thought was really cool, but there's actually some interesting things about it. So this Mono Bear one will only be available in PlayStation edition of Terraria in Japan. I don't know why I said that so weird. And then the Shiren one will only be available in the Wii U and PlayStation edition, but not the 3DS edition. And then this other Mono Bear one is only available in the Vita version, and then this final one, Toro, is only available in the Vita version. Like, really oddly specific vanity costumes for different versions, and we learned back in the day that they actually did this to appeal to the Japanese audience to try and get some buzz up about Terraria, but I never even knew that the female Mono Bear and this Toro was actually even in the game. Like, we had no evidence of it back then. And they also have one specific item as well. It's called White Thread. Now, what's funny about White Thread is they obviously added it to make the Mono Bear vanity outfit, but funnily enough, they actually use it in a crafting recipe for green blocks. Like, that's just so odd. They don't actually have green dye. They have white thread, and that's what they use for blocks. White thread. It's really odd. Now, the reason why we're actually able to grab all of these specific sprites and learn all about them is because there's actually now an official Japanese Terraria Wikipedia page. And my god, this thing is the funniest thing ever, because Google does its best to translate everything back, and it's just cracking me up already. And some of the things on this Japanese Wikipedia page are just so butchered, it's actually hilarious. For example, let's take the names of some of the NPCs. So, you know, obviously at the beginning we have the guide and the nurse, and as you can see, the names are pretty much the same. But do you guys remember driving wheelchair? Does anyone remember that? Or wandering? Or what's this one? Goblin's Rice? Like, just really, really odd names. Like, it really... Or the Steampanker. It just really cracks me up. And there were some really funny ones as well. Like, one of these little butterflies in a bottle is actually called a bottle of sweet potato. like it's all Google Translate that's messing up, but it's just made some hilarious results. Like, I really like how the orange torch is now called the rough torch. I feel like that fits in pretty well. And honestly, looking at some of these specific things in the Japanese edition has just been really interesting. Like, their Wikipedia page actually has a section going over why the 3DS version is different and like why it's different for different reasons. I thought that was really interesting. And like, it goes into, well, because of one of the limitations, we can't use clocks or we can't use dyes, and because of that, there is no dye trader, and little interesting things like that. But this Japanese Wikipedia page is honestly just brilliant. Like, if you have a spare few minutes, go onto it, Google Translate it, and just enjoy the madness that is the Japanese Wikipedia page. But I thought that was really interesting. I'm glad that the community kind of rallied towards this one. Like I said, the video that I made last year was actually like the first video of people talking about Japanese Terraria. And the reason I wanted to kind of go back to it is because I actually had an interesting thought earlier, and that is, who makes Japanese Terraria? Like, is it made by Pipeworks now? Is it still made by Engine? Like, I was really interested. Like, do Terraria Japan have 1.3? Like, that's an interesting question that I can't seem to get the answer to, because of course, like, I don't speak Japanese, but who really knows? It'll be interesting to see what comes out of that. Hopefully one of the developers can kind of answer my questions. But there we go, guys. I just wanted to make an update video on a video from a year ago. If you didn't see the original one, of course, I'll leave it linked at the end, or you can find it in the description below. So that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.